Good evening. Her temper is threatening. Her winds are whipping. Her name is Allison, and she's no lady. Tonight, the Florida coast braces for what could be a big one. Hurricane means hurry up on Florida's panhandle. People who live here know the drill all too well. Keep your boat out of the water. Keep your house stocked with water and food. And keep your fingers crossed that this storm steers clear of your home. Tonight, there are hurricane warnings from the Gulf Coast of Pensacola. No rest for vacationers. These people on St. George Island had to evacuate. Now, high tides mean high anxiety at Captiva Island near Fort Myers. It may be fun to hang 10 in this surf, but people pray they can hang on if the waves wash much closer. Tides could reach as high as 10 feet. With heavy rains, that could mean a surge of water and a surge of fear. Florida Governor Lawton Chiles has declared a state of emergency for the Northwest and central Gulf Coast.
It's early in the hurricane season, but this is not a drill. No one in the affected area should venture outside tonight. Downed power lines and trees are very likely.
Florida Governor Lawton Chiles. For the latest on Hurricane Allison, now let's go to our meteorologist, Joe Moreno, for the first on Fox Weather. Joe, it looks like she could pack quite a wallop.
It sure does, Mario. Unfortunately, it's a Category 1 hurricane. That means winds are 75 miles an hour. Nevertheless, it is a hurricane, as you can see, continuing now to move straight toward Apalachicola right now, and there is a hurricane warning in effect there. The latest advisory places the storm about 160 miles south-southwest of Apalachicola, winds 75 miles an hour, moving to the north at 16 miles an hour with a hurricane warning again from Pensacola down to Anclo Key. That's a hurricane warning, and then south of the Key to Bonita Beach is a tropical storm warning. Winds again 75 miles an hour, very serious storm. It will continue to move to the north. And yes, it may affect us, not with strong winds, but perhaps with some heavy rain. Not for tonight, though. Just great in the metropolitan New York area, 64 degrees, 55 to 60 in the suburbs. And then we do see the outer effects, the cloud band. This is the cloud band from Hurricane Allison making its way to the north. Will it affect us? I'll let you know later on in the forecast. Back to you, Mary.
Okay, Joe, thanks for that report. We'll see you later. Some rough weather in Oklahoma as well. Violent storms rip through southern and central Oklahoma, dumping up to 8 inches of rain. A tornado watch still in effect in Canadian County. Some scary moments as lightning hit a small natural gas refinery, causing it to burst into flames.
One is churning the Gulf of Mexico. Allison's her name, her target, Florida. So let's go live to reporter Dennis Smith, who joins us from Panama City, right in the storm's path. Dennis?
Richard, looks like the storm continues to approach the area, and we're seeing some of the people responding to the third storm that's affected the Florida Panhandle in a little over a year. We had Alberto and Burl last year. Now we're working on Hurricane Allison this year. Evacuations out from the islands around Apalachicola, St. George, Dog Island, and Alligator Point, and also evacuation from around the Panama City area. Unfortunately, the shelter is only holding about 5,000 people, so they're urging those that are leaving their homes and beachfront property to head farther back inland along Interstate 10, back up in the panhandle of Florida. It looks like a lot of the homes are resort homes. People aren't even attending them right now. They're waiting to come down later in the summer, so there's not too many homes that are taped up or boarded in the fury of what Hurricane Allison will be battering the coastline of the Florida Panhandle, probably around dawn on Monday morning. Richard?
Dennis, with it still over warm water, are you expecting any strengthening of the storm before it hits landfall?
There is that possibility, and again, it looks like its most likely area to be anywhere from where I'm standing right now at Panama City Beach to around Apalachicola. But the area east of Apalachicola, that part that sticks out farthest in the Gulf, in the northern areas of the panhandle of Florida, is very shallow there. So they're worried about the storm surge as much as 10 feet. We're going to see low tide about midnight and continues to rise after that. And since it will be coming in around dawn, that could cause some problems with the storm surge, especially east of Apalachicola.
Okay, Dennis, thanks a lot, and be sure to stay dry. I know you're just moments away from a lot of rain. As far as our weather is concerned, it looks like we're going to have safe haven, at least for a few days. We'll have more details when we come back from the break.
The hurricane moving north and gathering strength in the Gulf of Mexico. Floridians along the coast are getting ready. For many, that meant boarding up the old homestead and getting in the car for a bumper-to-bumper evacuation. Boaters who could pull their craft from the water did so. Others just tried to make their property more secure. Storm surges are expected to bring 10-foot tides. At last word, upwards of 5,000 people had packed up and moved inland. The calm skies and the gentle waves along the shoreline gave no hint that a dangerous hurricane was just 200 miles away. But residents took no chances. All day they've been stocking supplies of bottled drinking water, food that doesn't have to be refrigerated or cooked, and lots of batteries and flashlights. Kids could make a game of helping their parents hunker down for the hurricane, but the approaching storm was serious business for Florida's Governor Lawton Childs, who declared a state of emergency.
This is a dangerous storm, and it's getting stronger.
Residents were told to evacuate the coastline areas in Franklin, Liberty, Akula, Taylor, and Jefferson County. So at this hour, exactly where is Hurricane Allison? Janice Huff tracking the storm right now. Janice?
Ralph, Hurricane Allison is exactly 120 miles south-southwest of Apalachicola, Florida, which is located right here in the Florida Panhandle. You can see by the motion over the past 24 hours the storm is moving toward the north, about 16 miles per hour. It's expected to make landfall in this general area between Apalachicola and Pensacola tomorrow morning sometime. And you may notice, too, that there's something we've noticed on the satellite picture. There's no defined eye to the storm. It is a minimal hurricane. That's a Category 1. It's not like a Hurricane Andrew was, but it's certainly packing enough punch with winds at 75 miles per hour. Those are sustained winds. That's a steady wind. And also 5 to 10 inches of rain possible with this storm. Hurricane warnings are still in effect from just north of Tampa all the way around the bend of the Gulf of Mexico to Apalachicola and then over towards Pensacola. Within this area is where the storm could make landfall, and it's expected to do so tomorrow morning. We'll have more details on that. We'll look at the rainfall in the area and have our local forecast coming up. Ralph?
All right, Janice, we'll check you.